I live in the East Village and I've been here for 26 years. I live in a fishbowl basically on a very busy street, and so everyone that can see in sees like what looks like a toy store. I love bright colors, I love things that look like candy, and I love toys. You know, it just brings me joy. I live in a fairly large one-bedroom. I have one roommate. He's an English bulldog named Tater Tot. It's basically a flat floor plan, and what I've done with the furniture is cut it up into different spaces. So in the front you have a foyer, then we have a living room, then we have a library, and sometimes a dance floor, and then a dining room, and that's all carved out in the same open floor plan. I might live in a small space, but I collect a lot of things. I collect bobbleheads, lunch boxes, vintage soda bottles, Pez dispensers, globes. With having a lot of collections, you also have to think about where those collections live. In my home, I have my lunchbox collection and my vintage soda bottle collection in the dining room because they're food related. And then I also have a painted soda bottle collection and Bob Big Boy figurines in my kitchen. I have globes in the library because that's where a globe belongs. I do a lot of dumpster diving, and these two chairs came from the dumpster. I really didn't want to look at my bookcase any longer, and I wanted to mount these chairs on the wall. However, nobody wanted to do it for me. I spoke to carpenters, I spoke to handymen. No one wanted to put them on the wall for me. They had to have some sort of base or support. I finally found someone that was willing to do it, and it just transformed everything. I didn't need to keep a conventional bookcase. These act as display. Also is a perfect backdrop for my globe collection. It just makes me happy that I got to see a project that everyone said no to, and it came to fruition. I have been organized my entire life. In fact, I was the child that was called by my friends' parents to clean their children's rooms. And to me, that was like an awesome play date. My kitchen is pretty small, it's a galley kitchen. However, I don't really actually cook. So for me, it works out fine. It's kind of a living scrapbook almost. I also did this thing, I created a backsplash. I'm a renter, so I need to be able to have temporary situations, even if they're for a long time period. And I love oilcloth. So I basically cut all these oilcloths into patterns and I like papered the entire back wall. So it's washable, it's changeable, it's not permanent, and it's super colorful and bright, so it makes me really happy. I have a lot of collections in my dining room, but they all work because they're tightly curated and they're organized. Everything is orderly. Most things are generally on right, straight angles. There's nothing like kind of wonky about it, but they're also kept within their category. So all the teacups are on teacup displays. The lunch boxes are on shelves along one wall. The soda bottles actually act as a centerpiece for my table in a vintage soda crate. You're not overwhelmed by all these different collections because they're really handled in very organized, detailed manner. The living room isn't any different than any part of my apartment. There are collections there as well. It's a lot of found objects. I have artwork, a lot of outsider artwork there. I also have some of my creative things that I've done, like put casters on a vintage Coke crate and made it a magazine stand. I have some oilcloth pillows on the Naugahyde sofa. I really wanted to make conversation in the living room. So I have two sofas parallel and they cut in the middle of the room, but they also give you the impression that this is the living space. One of the collections I have are Pez dispensers, and they're a real conversation starter. Everyone has a memory of a Pez when they were a kid or something recent. I have a presidential collection. What I did with the Pez was, there was an artist and he painted these empty drawers. So I bought these drawers and I then put foam core and made shelves. So I had a really tight Pez dispenser collection rather than having them just aimlessly everywhere. As strange as it seems, my very favorite space in my home is a tiny little hallway because the yellow is so intense and so like bright and happy. And then I've actually added some artwork in there, so it's a little mini gallery en route to like the bathroom or the bedroom. My bedroom is a little bit like a candy dish. It's got a lot of colors. It's also my office. I pick up a lot of stuff on the street of New York City, and one of the things I found happened to be on my block. It was a jeweler's table, an old jeweler's table in the garbage. So this drawer was reinforced so it could actually hold things. It was metal before. And then I went to the lumber yard and I purchased wood and wrapped it up with oilcloth, and so I have additional shelving. And now everything's super compact and it's my entire office space. I have an IKEA piece that's 26 years old. It's on a Lazy Susan. It's like a mirrored wardrobe. It spins around. It was white, unattractive. So what I ended up doing was cutting up all these vintage pinup girls from my calendars. I had a bottle collection and I had all these caps, then put in anything that inspired me, anything I loved, mostly cartoons, make them little mini picture frames around the mirror. So now it's a total reflection of me, my style, the things I love, and it houses all my t-shirts. And it's indispensable. I try and maximize my space any way I can. This was actually a potter's table for a gardener, and I ended up making it into a vanity, and I also then made it into a jewelry display. So I just hung nails, hung the jewelry, I can see everything, I use everything. There's a lot happening, but to me, it's soothing. It's a comfortable space, and I think you have to have confidence when you're decorating and designing, and also just know that if you like it, it's gonna work. Hey HOUZZers, I've gotten a lot of questions about my place and I picked a few out to answer. I wanna thank you so much for checking out the home. But the first question is, love the collections, love the color, love the audacity, but how do you keep up with the dusting? I put on one of these gloves and I dust it with my hand. It's super easy, it's really quick, it can get into all the grooves and the nooks and the crannies, and it's much better than the feather duster. The second question is, this place is awesome. Every picture makes me happy and I'm obsessed with finding a carousel railing light. How in the world did you come up with that? That is a one-of-a-kind piece that came from a store that I used to work in. However, I would recommend trying it at flea markets. Mine happened to be British, but I had it wired for American Standard. They're out there, especially cities that have carnivals and stuff like that, because they're always replacing these pieces. And the third question, how did you attach the oilcloth to the wall? For those of you that do not know, this is oilcloth. It's got a little texture back, shiny. People use it for placemats, for tablecloths. I use it for a backsplash in my kitchen. So what I ended up doing was cutting out all the shapes around and all the different colors of oilcloth, and then applying it with this wallpaper paste. Super easy, just use a sponge brush and just lay it flat on the wall, and then when you need to take it off, it just peels right away. There are all the questions. Thanks so much for joining me, and again, thanks for looking at my apartment.